Cheers, y'all. We are headed out for another weekend long run. Drastic temperature and weather change over the last couple of days. I think the high yesterday was 57. It is in the 20s now with the wind chill. Not terribly cold compared to my running buddies across especially the Midwest, but we've got snow for the first time. Really just flurries going on right now. Nothing sticking the ground, certainly too warm for that, but excited for a long effort today. Shooting for at least 13 miles. I think I'm gonna go like 2.5 hours. Might mix in some run walking again because the goal is to preserve my legs, make sure I'm not at risk of any kind of injury or anything. So I don't want to shoot up my mileage too quick after the time off, but so far everything's been feeling good. Been doing strength training in between runs, again, just to protect some of those ligaments or tendons that tend to experience some overuse issue, especially the hip flexors. I T-band that area, but so far so good, knock on wood. Really just, it's this weekend and next weekend are the last big training weekends, and then it's time to start tapering before the race. Crazy how close it is, but excited to just keep putting in the work and see what kind of shape we can get in before Rocky Raccoon. All right, y'all, we are halfway through the run and a little bit of tree cover, so saved from the wind, thank God. I decided I'm gonna go with 13, probably it'll end up being a little over 13 miles total for the run, 6.5 out, 6.5 back. I also decided to do 3 miles running and then a 5-minute walk break. I think that'll just, again, help ease the stress on the legs, make these longer duration runs more durable. I'm gonna try to do another run tomorrow, so that's part of the reason I think I could go 14, but I'm like, come on. It's not about hitting high mileage in any single run, it's about Rocky Raccoon, and I think it's more important to get in like back-to-back running days than it is to hit a long distance on any single run. So gonna hold it to 13 today, try to do like 6 to 8 tomorrow probably, try to get on some trails if I can. And then I'm thinking next week, maybe try to do a 2-a-day run. So wake up and do a long, like 10 to 13 mile run in the morning, take a break in the afternoon, have some food, put my legs up, let the soreness settle in from the day, and then go out for another like 6-ish mile run. So we'll see if that happens, but so far today's going good, fuel's going good, hydration's going good, and just happy to be getting in another solid workout. Cheers, y'all. Run and done. Had to bring it inside for the recap because I once again ran into the issue with the GoPro freezing up and shutting down at the tail end. It worked for the bulk of the run. I think the wind at the end just got to it. It seems like wind is the killer factor. Luckily, knock on wood, Jesus, I hope that the weather is not nearly as cold in Houston. During the overnight time is the only time I'm a little nervous, but especially if we're in the tree cover, hopefully wind won't be too big of a factor. But if I kept it close to my body, seemed to keep it warm enough to keep it on. But as soon as I would start recording with it out and the wind hit it, it was just too cold for it to film at the resolution that I was hoping for. So bringing it inside for the recap, but a great run. As I mentioned, a little over 13.1 miles total for the day at a 10:48 pace. And again, that was 3 miles of running, followed by 5 minutes of walking on off. I did 4 repeats of that little circuit. So felt good, legs feel good. Looking forward to another run tomorrow. Feeling good about the physical preparation. The runs are going good. Equally as important, heart rate again today was under 150 average for the whole run. So really, really happy to see that coming back down into check, and just overall feeling great. Also wanted to showcase my sweet new running vest. I decided to invest in a new running vest for the Rocky Raccoon 100, mostly just to emphasize storage space. I'm gonna tip the camera down so I can get like full view of this. But this is the Ultimate Direction. I think it's the Ultimate Direction Ultra Vest 6. And like I said, really wanted to emphasize storage space. So if you've watched past videos, you know I prefer bottles on the front as opposed to a bladder in the back of the bag, just because I've had issues with the seals on bladders. They can get stuck, they can be difficult to maneuver, and especially during an ultra, if you run into any issue being able to open or close that properly, can be really catastrophic to hydration during the race. So much prefer the bottles, a lot easier to just unscrew, refill the fluid. So you got 2 pockets on the front. Something I have loved about this already is that apart from the 2 pockets on the front, there's also this little zipper pouch behind one of the bottles that fits a cell phone in the case, so that's huge. It's also a water resistant pouch, and I'll do a more in-depth review, but just wanted to showcase this was my first run in the vest, and so far so good. Everything went really, really well. Bottles just fit right in these little pouches. It's got attachments to hook trekking poles on the front or on the back. It's got side pouches here. I got my gels on this side, right in here. Put the trash on this side. This is actually could hold a straw. If you wanted to have a bladder, you could run the straw through here, but it's also its own little pouch. And then plenty of pouches on the back as well. Probably can't hear me as well if I'm talking away from the camera. I'm gonna narrate to the camera and then turn around to showcase, but if you look, there's several main pouches on the back that run the full length, as well as some smaller zipper pouches or mesh pouches. So overall, plenty of storage, and like I said, you can choose to hook the trekking poles either to the front or the back. So some customizability. I definitely have to play around with some different options to decide what I like best, but loving the bottles, loving the vest so far. Very, very comfortable, very mobile, and looking forward. I think it's gonna be a great option for Rocky Raccoon. But that's the run. We are 21 days from Rocky Raccoon, so 3 weeks out. So we are going into really my final week of training for this race. 1 solid week left, and then it's time to start tapering for the race. So not a ton of time for work to be done. Like I said, I'm gonna focus on continuing to build distance just to get some more miles on my leg, get those muscles a little bit more adapted for the challenge. But focus is also just gonna be on strengthening those support muscles. I think that's gonna be key. Remembered on the run today, I definitely need to work on shoulders as well, just for holding the pack, supporting the pack, some neck strength, some of those things that you don't think about necessarily for a race, but when you're talking about 100 miles, the strength just to kind of like maintain your posture and stay upright is equally as important, probably slightly less important than your legs, but it can become a significant issue in those tail ends when you're just starting to like fold in on yourself. So gonna keep working the core, gonna do some upper body stuff, but really just focus on glutes, quads, hamstrings, etc., to hopefully help relieve some of the stress of the running from my legs, let the muscles take some of that brunt. But great run today, feeling really good and excited to go into the last week of training, which I can't believe is already here. But thank you as always for tuning in on this journey. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below, and I'll see you on the next run. Cheers, y'all.